copying me. Thanks very much, Jeanette. And our last speaker is Anita, also a registered nurse. This is another story about determination to succeed. Anita's desire to work as a nurse overseas began with watching English movies. However, at the time, she had no idea what was in store for her. Achieving her goals required Anita to make a number of personal sacrifices, and she also had her share of disappointments and just plain bad luck. Here's Anita to tell you all about it. Anita?
Thank you, Louis. Good morning, everyone present here today. My name is Anita Goyal, and I'm working as a registered nurse at Richmond General Hospital in medical acute care under the Vancouver Coastal Health Authority. I graduated from a 3-year diploma in nursing program in the year 1998 from the Institute of Nursing Education in Goa, India. The beautiful state of Goa is famous for its beaches, sun, and medical tourism. While working as an ER staff nurse at the Sanjeevani Hospital in Goa, I cared for and learned from patients around the world. This made me aware of the different opportunities which lay ahead of me, and I started to dream of going anywhere outside my country. As a child, I had watched English movies and enjoyed seeing how the nurses worked. As a part of a team with the doctors, you see, in India, nurses will make suggestions. However, most often they are told to follow the doctor's directions. Not only that, the movies will show the nurses administering newly discovered medicines and using the latest technology such as ventilators. These were not common occurrences back home, and I wanted to do this too. In 2002, I got married and moved to Dubai with my husband. There I worked at a school as an emergency assistant nurse. I enjoyed my job dealing with beautiful, amazing kids around me. But my interest in ER and hospital was something I was most desperate in. I had moved to Dubai on an employment visa and I could not change my job. If I had to do so, I would have to exit the country for 6 months and return back on a new visa. Since my husband was in Dubai, changing job was not the right decision. In 2004, I started researching on the world's best place to live and work, and that's how I discovered Vancouver. With the help of an agent in Dubai, I sent my application and got my credentials evaluated. In 2005, I opened a file with CRNBC, submitted all my required documents, and proved my English proficiency. After about a month, I received a letter from CRNBC requesting me to do a qualifying course in psychiatric nursing. We decided to move to Canada soon, but we had to wait for a permanent resident visas for 2.5 years. So in 2008, as soon as we got our landing papers, we moved to Canada. It was a new world to us. We had never experienced snow, dark nights, dark days, had no family, no friends, and no jobs in hand. It was like the biggest challenge to be on our own. The second day after we arrived in Vancouver, I approached CRNBC to find out about course options for studying psychiatric nursing. Although my online information said my file was active, I learned that it had expired. I had to open up a new file. CRNBC sent me an envelope containing a smaller envelope inside. This may be a little confusing. While I was ripping open the small envelope, my husband threw the rest of the mail in the garbage. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted something and said to him, "No, wait, there's something else in there." Inside was a second letter explaining how to reapply and cautioning me not to open the sealed envelope, which contained my transcripts and other documents from India and Dubai. If only I had known, I could send the untouched envelope back to CRNBC. and I never had opened it. I felt my long waiting and hard work for almost 3 years was total waste, but I did not give up. So I had to request all my documents again from India and Dubai. Since we were new here, every day we went walking and exploring the city of New Westminster. This is where I came across Fraser-Side Employee Assistance Program. I got enrolled with them and attended a 4-week program which prepared me to build my resume, job search and interview skills. This is where I started networking and making friends. Before coming to Canada, I had no idea that we would be finding it so difficult to find jobs. My husband, who had been a manager of 5-star hotels in Dubai, got a job after 2 weeks. It was a survival job, working at Denny's as a waiter. All my life I worked at the hospitals as a nurse, and no experience in any other industry whatsoever. As months went by, things were difficult for us, and we could not survive with a single person's income. I decided to take up a job in any other field. I first tried in healthcare, like post of a nurse assistant, porter, just to know the health industry in Canada, but no one answered me back. Every night for close to 7 months, I would be in tears and making up plans to go back home. Requesting documents from back home was the biggest challenge from Canada. Although I attended the biggest college in Goa, India, they had no website and didn't use email, so I had to keep calling them and requesting them to send documents as soon as possible. With the help of family and friends from India, I was able to get all my documentation and transcripts in 3 months' time. In the meantime, I had to take up a job at Safeway, where I worked as a deli clerk. Back at home, every family had housemates who could cook and clean and do all the household chores. I had no idea how to wash dishes, slice the meat, or sweep the floor. Not only that, my religious restrictions prevented me from handling certain meats like pork. It was the toughest job I ever had. I did not tell my parents because I knew they would call me, tell me to come home. My self-confidence was shaken and I regretted coming to Canada. I cried most of the time. But to survive, I made up my mind to take up the job. And I worked there for 7 months just to know the Canadian culture and talk to people whom I served and worked with. Since English is my second language, this was an opportunity to speak to people in English and build my vocabulary. I learned how to deal with cash and got acquainted with different kinds of food. Although I didn't know it then, I learned a lot from this job now. I respect the opportunity I had. I would love to work and continue working there, but at this time I was still registered with Fraser-Side, and since I was not happy with my job, I went back to them for help. My case manager guided me and asked me to contact and seek help from Back in Motion. Without any further delay, I contacted RIBC and took an appointment and got registered. In a few days' time, I reapplied to CRNBC and resubmitted all documents. RIBC helped me with translation of certificates from Mosaic, paid 2/3 of my cost of reapplying, appearing for the RN exam, certificates like CPR, getting my permanent license, and also they helped me pay for my books. Ms. Anna Nowak, my program coordinator, and myself worked together. She guided me with all my requirements and I kept her informed of all my career progress. In October 2008, I got a letter from CRNBC, and the good news was this time I did not have to do any qualifying course in psychiatric nursing. And now I could start working as a nurse on temporary permit.